which CUCM is
Just to
sending
allow requests, trust authentication request. Okay, if you are not, if this suppose now a call comes from the call manager and call manager wants to send that call to the router, so call manager will send that to PG. In PG, this call manager is identified as peripheral ID 1. So PG will say, I received a request on peripheral ID 5001. Myself is 5000. Sending you request with DMP ID 1. In router already configuration there. DMP ID 1 is CUCM type of response. Yes, 5000 is matching with what is configured logical 5000 for DMP ID 1 is matching. Actual request has 5000. On that 5000, request is coming on 5001. Okay, it is allowed. Packet is allowed. Now call goes on your routing script. Call goes on your routing script. Now suppose router has to create a label for that client. Okay, so router has to respond back to this request. While responding back, to whom he should respond? He should respond to the originator. Originator is peripheral ID 1. So router doesn't use his peripheral ID to response. Router uses routing client ID. Router uses routing client ID. Okay? Router uses routing client ID. So that goes back to CUCMs. Okay, routing client ID 5001. 5001 is mapped to peripheral ID 1 5000. So this is for 5001. So I am sending back that response to him. Clear?
So can you explain it once more?
Okay. A request comes from the CUCM 1 to PG to router. This request should go. So the request comes to the PG. PG says, okay, this particular call manager is configured with peripheral ID 5001. So I'll attach peripheral ID and number 5001 in the request. While sending out, I'll also attach logical control ID 5000. That is my the request. New call request goes here, which has peripheral ID 5001 and logical control ID 5000. Call it is configured in router, yes, with DMP ID 1. Oh, matched. Request allowed. Call goes to your routing script. In routing script, decision is taken based upon the condition you say. Decision says that response should be sent back to the originator. Now to send the response back, router doesn't use peripheral ID. Router uses associated routing client ID. Associated peripheral ID 1 is associated with one routing client ID. Router responds back with routing client ID, saying that okay, send the response to this routing client ID. In PG, this routing client ID is associated with this peripheral ID. Peripheral ID response send back. Clear?
Yes.
So you have to note down all these things while creating your PG router. Note it down because you require this in integration. Then start your PG installation. While you installation of PG, you need to mention all these IDs. Clear? First thing. Second thing, while installation of PG, don't make any mistakes. Okay, and don't erase that mistakes. Just delete. Because in PG, once you create one routing client ID and you delete that, that number is unavailable for you, and everything will be mismatched. Generally, what happens? If ID is 5000, routing client ID should be 5000. If ID is 5001, 5001, 5002, 5000. This is sequentially. We also, while going through the logs, we will also not pay attention on routing client ID because we know IDs are matching. But suppose while creating the PV peripheral ID 1, you have done some mistake, you deleted that. You only created peripheral ID, you didn't create a routing client ID. So you created 5000, deleted it. Again you created, that time now new number will be added 5001, and you on that 5001 peripheral ID, now you are creating routing client ID, it will be 5000. So 5001 is matched to 5000. So mismatch is there. Now you have to pay attention in your logs. Okay, so don't make any mistakes. Don't delete something. Before saving, make sure that everything is perfect. So best practice. Otherwise, operation guy has to suffer if he is going to troubleshoot. Done?
So what is the step by step to install this? Which device needs to be installed first?
Install these components: router, logger, AWS, DTS. So these services are up. Then use AW tool. Create PG configuration. Note down these things.
Okay.
Now, while creating the PG configuration, which PG should be configured first? Best practice says always configure CDCM PGs first. Okay. Now, suppose you are going to use Finis, Cisco Finis as the agent desktop software, and you are going to have a UCC 10.5.1 version. In 10.5.1 version, Finis server supports 1000 concurrent agent login. 1000 concurrent agent login. For one Finis, you require one CTS server, one PG. Suppose you require 2000 agents, one more Finis, one more CTS server, one more CUCM PG. Third, 3000, third PG, third Finis, third CTS server, third PG, CUCM PG. Okay, this one-to-one mapping has to be there. Okay, our PG supports 2000 agent login in 10.5, but Finis supports only 1000. Okay, so suppose you need to develop a full-fledged 12,000 concurrent agent login. So you require 12 Finis, 12 CTS servers, 12 CUCM PGs. So all this should be configured first. PG1, CUCM PG1, PG2, CUCM PG2, PG3, CUCM PG3. Why? Because for each CUCM PG requires one CTS server. You can configure up to 250 CTS servers as well. So DMP ID between CTS servers should be same. Just like DMP ID you are configuring here. Okay, here DMP ID should be same. If this PG is one PG1 means it has DMP ID 1. So you should install CG1, CTS server 1. DMP 1, CG1, PG1, DMP1, DMP1. Suppose this is PG78, you cannot use CG1 here. Because CG1 will create DMP ID 1 and this PG is DMP ID 78. So 1 and 78 match, it doesn't match, combination will not happen. If this is PG78, you have to create CG78.
What is CG?
CTI server, CTI gateway.
Okay.
In Cisco terminology it is called CTI gateway. Actually it is a CTI server.
Okay.
Okay. So which PG you enable, associated CG you have to enable.
So number should be same.
Correct.
Okay.
If number same, then DMP ID will be same. Okay. That is why PG you are always starting with first, right? So first 12 should be PG1 to PG12. Then you will be able to use CG1 to CG12. Okay. If you are going to use CTS PG server from 70, you should start with 70.
Okay.
Otherwise, there is no hard and fast rule which PG should be installed where. If you are using PG, remember that CG will be used. Remaining are wasted.
Can you please note here?
Logical
Logical ID talks to.
logical controller ID is his own ID.
Okay.
Now he has his own clients, multiple clients. So each client will be assigned one peripheral ID. Peripheral ID 1, peripheral ID 2. Okay. While he is talking to router, he will be using his peripheral ID, logical control ID as his own identification number, and request came from whom? His peripheral ID. And he is configured as PG1, so his DMP ID is 1. This information he will send to router. Router will match with this configuration. Matching allowed. Request is allowed. Now he is going to respond back. While responding back, he will be responding back to associated routing line ID. Clear? Now PG is also talking. CUCM is also talking to CTS server. So this also should have same DMP ID. So PG1, CG1, PG5, CG5, PG48, CG48. Their associated paired CTS server should be enabled. Clear? Same the case for here. He has his own logical controller ID. He is talking to call server. So here he will assign peripheral ID for this call server. If second call server is there, second peripheral ID, third call server, third peripheral ID. Okay? Sends the request him. He generates the response. He generates on the routing line ID. Okay? Clear? Now let's configure your PG in router first. So to configure, you have to go to AW server. AW server, you will get this shortcut: admin workstation, UCC administration tool.